some women are far more democratic than some men, and some men are a little more democratic than some women.
Oh, that's a dangerous question.
Women.
Women.
Stupid question.
Well,
I see no evidence of that.
No.
I don't think so.
Why should they be?
Not as human beings. Of course not.
on the contrary.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I'm a bit of an old-fashioned chauvinist, so I'm afraid I have to say no, I don't think women are more democratic. They're more wily, often they're more caring.
But not when they have power. They are then
Sometimes more evil than the men.
Women are probably a bit less argumentative than men, and in some ways possibly a bit more democratic. But then, having said that, you then think about...
I say Margaret Thatcher.
The Iron Hand of Margaret Thatcher.
Our only woman prime minister in this country, Margaret Thatcher.
I don't think Thatcher was very democratic.
Women who rise to the top, such as Mrs. Thatcher, are not necessarily any more democratic than men because they're playing by the same rules that them.
She sent thousands of young British men to die for some small islands in the Atlantic.
Mrs. Thatcher was a dictator.
No different than men who have that kind of power.
And you wonder whether those judgments stand really on the basis of that experience.
Women have a culture of being more consultative with each other.
Also, women maybe are more diplomatic than men.
Porque são mais tolerantes, são mães, e em muitos casos são pais.
I think they understand that there is a mechanism for resolving conflict or for resolving disagreement which doesn't involve conflict.
Every 5% increase in the number of female members of parliament you have in your parliament, your country is 5 times less likely to engage in a military conflict.
I suppose you could even see it with left-wing governments worldwide kind of pandering to female votes by talking about
how to look, what to wear, blah, blah, blah.
Motherhood and apple pie issues.
So I think there are some qualities that are traditionally thought of as womanly.
They are more vulnerable.
They have more feeling for the people.
Women, though, were some of Hitler's biggest supporters.
That are fundamentally democratic values.
Well, it depends on whether you're using democratic as a kind of feel-good word.
Democracia, para mim, é o direito de ir e vir de todos os cidadãos, sendo ele preto, branco, amarelo, mestiço, velho, novo. Isso é democracia.
What is ultimately right is not what democracy is after. Democracy is a system for allowing choices to be made through certain procedures.
Well, I think the greatest enemy to democracy is arrogance.
So that I would say that women are less inclined to be democratic than men, because democracy is itself a form of rigidity if it is adhered to, and women are in general not as rigid as men.
So, yeah, in my opinion, men are more arrogant than women.
Olha, se elas são mais democráticas, eu não sei, mas que elas são muito mais interessantes do que os homens.
I think women are more beautiful.
Women are more women than men.
I think women are human.
Por lado sim, por lado não.
And I think together we complement one another. Les femmes sont la partie de l'humanité qui est soit le plus grand bénéficiaire de la démocratie.
Agora a mulher está sendo muito assim sacrificada, que elas estão lutando por uma igualdade social, né, Neném? De igual para igual, os direitos iguais. Mas eu acho que isso aí não pode ser, Neném, porque o homem é o homem e a mulher é a mulher.
Ou alors la victime de la démocratie.
Women are not more democratic than men.
Ni les nègres, ni les arabes, ni les homosexuels, ni les juifs.
If we discard all the New Age rubbish about, women more cooperative and so on, then I would say
it's a question of tolerance, insight, and
your own personal beliefs, or your education,
who you're brought up by, what your family situation is, what your nature is, and
sometimes about the cultural pressure.
I don't think there's a real difference between men and women. I think there's clever people and not so clever people, and I think if they're a man or a woman, it's just
it's an attitude of mind.